What's up, guys? How you doing? With me, I've got Steve from Jaguar Land Rover Kenya. That is what you guys know as Inchcape. Now, they are the franchise holders for Jaguar and Land Rover in Kenya. Now, today we've come to check out a couple of cars. Now, we're going to start off with the Velar. I mean, this is one of the beauties that caught my eye as soon as I came in here. And Steve, what could you tell us about this particular unit?
Well, the Range Rover Velar is something very dear to us. So the Range Rover Velar is the vehicle. It was a very bold design by Jaguar Land Rover.
Yes.
So everything about it is new. We've never had a mid-size Range Rover before, and the Velar was our attempt at that.
Okay.
But the Velar, the reason why even the name is significant is in the 1960s when Land Rover first designed the big boy, the Range Rover.
Yes.
It was called Project Velare. So that means the Velare means it comes from the Latin word to conceal or to hide, because it was a very secretive project, very hush-hush. Yeah, so it was something new that they were bringing, and as you can see from the lineup that we do have today, it was successful.
Yes.
So this was the same thinking behind this Range Rover Velar, and everything about it is new. So from the Duo Touch Pro that we have, the interior, very minimalist, very modern design, and even the lights, the sleek continuous waistline, the rear wraparound LEDs, everything about it is brand new.
Okay, now what can you tell us about the engine size, torque? Let's talk about the interior, because let's talk about the simple basics that people look for: engine size, interior, comfort, suspension, things like that.
All right. So now the vehicle do come in. They come in several variants. You can get it in petrol or diesel. We do prefer to sell it in petrol, but our customers love it as well. Petrol is smoother, and for a car of this size, petrol is more appropriate. So it does come with a 2-liter petrol or diesel.
Yes.
But and then you also have the 3-liter V6 supercharged petrol, which this one is in.
Oh, this is a V6 supercharged.
Yes, it's a V6 supercharged petrol engine. And they also come in different variants of suspension, so coil and air suspension. Air suspension, of course, is smoother and it is more comfortable.
Yes.
And it's a more comfortable ride, but the coil suspension is no slouch either. Either of the cars are very, very comfortable. It's just that this takes it to a whole new level.
Okay, let's do this. Let's take a step into the car. Let's have a seat. Let's get a feel of the leather in the car, how it feels, start the engine, listen to it purr, and see how that goes. And then from that, we'll move on to a discovery. Remember the Disco 6? No, Disco 5. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. So Steve, now we're in the car.
Yes.
Car is on, we've got all these displays. Kindly take us through the different control panels and AC controls, navigation on your phone and all that stuff.
All right. So here what you have the system called the Duo Touch Pro system.
Yes.
So everything about it is touch, except for this button here that turns on the radio. But everything about it is touch. Now, this top tab will give you the navigation. It will give you your cameras and your media, and of course settings such as your Bluetooth settings, your audio settings, all that. Now, this second tab will show you the vehicle settings. So, for example, you have terrain response here, and the vehicle, you basically select the settings that you want based on the terrain that you're driving on.
Okay.
So, for example, if you're driving in a wet surface, there is a setting that you can put on your vehicle that will delay power delivery to the wheels. So acceleration is gradual, meaning that you have a lot more traction. That's an example.
Okay.
So these settings here, they will adjust the transmission, the engine, the suspension, all so that it can suit the terrain that you're on.
So let me go back a bit. This is a 4-wheel drive vehicle.
Yes.
Full-time 4-wheel, or
this is not a 4-wheel drive. It's an all-wheel drive.
Okay.
With something called it's an all-wheel drive with intelligent driveline dynamics.
Okay.
So what that does is that it separates power, distributes power between the front and the back. And the vehicle also has something called a rear active locking diff that additionally distributes power between the rear 2 tires. So you can have 100% all the power in the back right, or left,
depending on each of the tires.
Yes, depending
needs more.
Of course.
Traction. Yes.
So the intelligent driveline dynamics determines what it checks what each wheel is doing and the articulation, and then it appropriately distributes torque so that you have maximum traction.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I've seen you've got different options. You've got snow. I've seen you've got a bit of just an eco drive.
Yes.
You've got let me say uneven surface and stuff like that.
Yes. Yes.
Is there anything else that pertains to the let's say the drivetrain that we've not talked about?
All right. There is something else. Now you can. This is called terrain response, meaning you can be able to select the system, the settings based on the terrain that you're on. But if you select automatic, this is called terrain response too. Now the vehicle automatically adjusts, and it adjusts the settings automatically based on what it sees what you're doing with the steering wheel inputs and what you're doing with the brake and the throttle and what is happening with each wheel, and the vehicle will accordingly change the settings it'll select the optimal settings for the best driving conditions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about safety.
Yes.
And I think when we talk about safety, we have to talk about for example, how many airbags this particular vehicle has.
All right. So the vehicle has about 10 airbags throughout the vehicle. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8.
Okay.
Yeah. And there are 2 more. There's one here. So there's one just here. So they're about 10.
About 10.
Yeah.
So you've got 10. We've got on the A pillars. We've got all the way to the back, the sides.
Yes. All around the pillars you do have airbags, and you also do have your front here. Yeah. So there are about 10 airbags throughout the vehicle.
Okay.
In addition, there are some additional safety features. So, for example, the pillars that you see here in Range Rover, they don't crumple.
Okay.
So they're very, very hardy. And why this is that if you do roll in a Range Rover, even though there are very, very low chances of that, but in case you do, it has something called pillar support, where the pillars will not crumple. They will remain firm, and the inhabitants or the occupants will be safe. So they'll remain encapsulated like a capsule.
So ideally, if this car was to roll today, this and this were able to support and protect my head and basically the occupants of the vehicles in a way that the crumple zones will take in
yes, the force, and people usually die because the pillars usually crumple and the vehicle is smashed flat. Yes. So this is very, very resistant to that. Okay. Yeah.
Now one more thing, you want to tell me something about the exterior of the vehicle?
Yeah. Now actually the Range Rover Velar has won World Beautiful Car of the Year 2018. It's because from the front, the Range Rover Velar has a very compelling on-road presence, a very formal stance, and then you can see from the continuous waistline, the vehicle is very beautiful, especially with the black roof that makes it look like it's floating. Right? So that black contrast and the continuous waistline makes the vehicle very, very beautiful, along with its full proportions.
Does it have a full tire or donut? Or
yes, it does have a full size. Have a full size tire.
Full size tire.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's do this. Let's step into another vehicle. Let's check out what do you suggest?
Let's jump to the Range Rover Sport.
Okay. Let's jump into the Range Rover Sport.
All right.